We got a little appetizer of SEC play in week 2. It begins in earnest week 3, and the biggest matchup is Georgia, headed to Tennessee. Bulldogs on Rocky Top. This is a matchup that Georgia has dominated recently, but Tennessee feeling very good about its offense with Joey Aguilar in charge. Georgia maybe not feeling so great about its offense coming out of the Austin Peay game. Ari, what do we think happens in the first big test for both teams?
Save me from myself. Save me, Andy. Save me from myself. I get excited, and sometimes I'm right, and a lot of times I'm wrong. Everybody in Knoxville, and I'm going to sound like a super big Tennessee homer right now, and maybe I am. Maybe Vol Twitter got to me. Maybe I want to see them be happy. Tell me if this is crazy. Is it possible that Tennessee is better off as an offense this year with Joey Aguilar as their quarterback? And let me back up a little bit. Nico Iamaleava is probably a better pro prospect in terms of his size, his length, and the size of his arm. But I don't think that how good of a pro prospect you are means that you're always the best player for a team. In their offense, somebody who likes to sling it, somebody who clearly can be accurate downfield, and somebody who doesn't fear airing it out. Is it possible that Tennessee's offense is just fine, if not a tad better than it would have been had Nico not left? And if that's the case, have we undervalued and undersold Tennessee as a college football playoff contender this year? And I'm talking to myself, who put them in that third tier of SEC in that discussion. Like, save me. Am I overthinking this, or do you think it's possible that I'm onto something here?
No, it's entirely possible that Joey Aguilar is a better quarterback for Tennessee than Nico would have been. It's also entirely possible that they can still lose to Georgia if he's a better quarterback than Nico would have been, because Georgia's really good. Now,
right.
Georgia fans currently freaking out over their own offense because they feel like Gunnar Stockton needs to just let it rip, missed some opportunities against Austin Peay. It didn't look good. And Tennessee's defense is going to be considerably better. I do know, obviously Tennessee's got problems with injuries at corner, but Tennessee is a really talented defense, good defensive line. This is going to be an exposure situation. If Gunnar Stockton really isn't the guy, you're going to find out at Neyland Stadium. And I think that's the fear for the Georgia fans, because, he looked fine. Like, he comes into the SEC championship game last year. He was not the problem in their loss to Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. But so far this season, he has not translated what he looks like in practice to what he looks like in the games. And Kirby Smart said that after the game on Saturday. So that part has to get figured out. That said, Georgia's defense has been the kryptonite for this Tennessee offense for the last few years. I mean, even when Hendon Hooker was running it and it looked great, remember they came in and it was pretty much for the SEC East a few years ago in Athens, and Georgia made it look like they could not do anything. So,
yeah, but that game, Andy, was during a time before the sport flipped, and that was still during superpower Georgia era. That was like super team, best Georgia defense, or one of the 2 or 3 best Georgia defenses in program history was on the field on the other side of that. And I feel like if Tennessee had that Hendon Hooker offense and Jalen Hyatt on this team, that they would win easily. I don't think that we're talking about the same proposition here. Now, here's the thing that I'm most excited about. I don't know who the SEC favorite is right now. We talked a little bit about the show about how you could pick 4 or 5 teams potentially that could get this thing done. LSU was a team that we thought might be number 1 a week ago, and they struggled with Louisiana Tech. Alabama has lost. Ole Miss struggled with Kentucky. Texas has already lost. Florida, we don't need to go over that again, do we?
We don't need to talk about that.
I don't know. It seems more wide open than it's been in the past. There's no bona fide, it's just going to be like the Big Ten where Penn State, Oregon, or Ohio State's going to win it. I think 5 teams could conceivably win this, and I don't know which one it is, but people still hold on to Georgia being the favorite. It's Georgia, guys. Let's not undersell Georgia. Is it still Georgia? I think we're going to find out if on Saturday, one way or the other, whether or not Georgia is the perennial heavyweight still, or if it's going to be more of a sunken down towards the pack. Very good team. No one's going to question whether or not they're a very good team. I'm questioning whether or not they're the suffocate boa constrictor team that, use their defense to suck the life out of opposing teams' souls like they were 4 years ago and 3 years ago. And Tennessee's got some pop to it. Also, two important things of note for Tennessee. One, Mike Matthews is emerging as a absolute dog. And the number one thing that you needed for Tennessee to help a quarterback, especially in this transition, you would have needed this to help Nico if it was still the case, is a big-bodied downfield pass threat that can be a wide receiver one. And I don't want to oversell it, but he was a 5-star prospect. He could have left in the offseason. He came back, made a really big play on Saturday, and I'm high on him. And the other point is David Sanders, the offensive tackle's first game, right, is going to be this week against Georgia. How he holds up.
Yeah, I mean, true freshman against the Georgia defense at at left or at right tackle. That
could blow up the whole thing. It's an important thing to watch. Now, that David Sanders player is a true freshman, but he also was the
number one offensive tackle. I will point out Michael Fasusi in a similar situation playing for Oklahoma because he missed the first game with injury. He made his debut against Michigan. He was good. He was good until he went out with an injury late in the game. So it's certainly not unheard of that a true freshman come in and play against a really good defense and be good on the offensive line. So I'm excited to see that. You're talking super teams. I'm going to talk super foods for a second. Ari, drinking my Huel Black Edition this morning because it's a rough recovery from a college football Saturday, but Huel gives me everything I need. Scoops of powder, water, and I've got an entire meal right here with 40 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals. And also, I got this right here. Huel Daily Greens. You can sign up for this now on the website. They have not released these yet, but I got a little preview of these things, and they are awesome. 42 vitamins and minerals, super greens, adaptogens, lion's mane mushroom, 4 grams of fiber, electrolytes, and antioxidants, all in one little can, 25 calories. You hit this in the morning, and you're ready to go. So go to Huel for the world's #1 complete nutrition. Use the promo code STAPLES15 for 15% off, plus a free gift, your first purchase of $75 or more. That's Huel.com, HUEL.com. The code is STAPLES15 for 15% off, first purchase of $75 or more, plus you get a free gift. I'm telling you right now, it's the way to go. If you don't have a bunch of time, you're busy, you need to make sure you get everything you need in one shot, that's Huel. HUEL.com, Staples15 is your code. All right, let's hear from Kirby Smart after the Austin Peay game because he is clearly aware that this game could go wrong for Georgia. He understands what could go wrong. He's trying to get his players locked in pretty early because this is a situation, as Kirby points out, where some weird things can happen.
Well, we'll find out. That's for sure. You know what I mean? It's a different demeanor when you go on the road in the SEC, especially when you have not been on the road. Study the stats on that. You ain't been on the road in your first road games in the SEC. We had it a couple years ago at Auburn. It's always an adventure, and we've been preparing for that, knowing that all along that it's going to be different when you go up there, and you got to be prepared for it, and you got to have confidence in your plan, and you got to go execute as a unit. It's not you against 100,000. It's you against 11 on 11.
Pretty good 11 for Tennessee, though. I think better than we imagined. This will be the first road start for Gunnar Stockton. He did start, obviously, against Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, but that's a different environment. This is more than 100,000 people screaming, incredible environment at Tennessee. I've been to a lot of games at Neyland Stadium, and it is one of the most electric places in the country when they're excited, and they are very pumped about what this team can be.
Yeah, I think, we're not going to pick the games until Monday, so check back at the On3 channel on Monday for the actual pick show, but I think I'm leaning Tennessee here, partially because I'm drinking Tennessee Kool-Aid and partially because I'm wary of Georgia's. I'm not picking their helmet. Didn't pick their helmet last year. I'm not going to pick their helmet this year. I think they're a very good team, but that's a tough road test against a team that we both have underestimated, I think. So might look like an idiot here in 7 days. We'll find out, but for the time being, like I'm starting to talk myself into Tennessee. I talked myself into Tennessee last year. They made the playoff. I think they could maybe do it again. Maybe.
We'll find out. That I don't think they have to win this one to make the playoff. No. But this changes. If Tennessee can win this, it does change how we feel probably about who the favorite is in the SEC. Because I think you and I are both on the page of we don't really know who the favorite is, but I think Tennessee you would put into that group of favorites if they win this game. Georgia, if they win this game, they would, of course, stay in the group of favorites. And, I think it would just be kind of maybe them reminding everybody, hey, a lot changes in the sport, but Georgia's always going to be here as one of the better teams. So I think that's kind of what's at stake here. It's going to be so fun. I cannot wait. This is the classic 3:30 p.m. best game in the SEC time. Ari, we're in it. Conference play is here. It's time. Georgia, Tennessee. Get ready. Talk a lot more about it this week. We'll be picking the game on Monday. You know where Ari's leaning. I have not revealed a lean. But I'm just going to tell you I'm going to be right and Ari's going to be wrong.